And he would always say, fish the baits in, fish the baits in.
Those 2 months felt like 5 years.
Really? Can you give out that secret to those watching at home?
Yeah, honestly,
Wait and see saw a lot of the fish. You can be in the middle of a pack, they're getting a wahoo, they're getting kings, they're getting bites, and you can be in the pack and watch guys getting decent fish and then listen to the crickets.
Right.
So
you get a front seat to the show.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Markfarag here with another episode of The Science of Fishing. Today, we're over at the Summit Studios, and we're sitting down and we're talking about the Pompano Beach Saltwater Circuit after the scales. We just wrapped up, and I'm sitting down with Jamie Bunn, Nick McCabe, Steve Fishman, and Mark Miller. What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Very good.
How you doing, Mark?
So, Jamie, give me some highlights of what went down. It was an eventful series, right? Congratulations on a successful series. Tell me what went down.
We're sitting here with some of the highlights, which we'll get to momentarily, I suppose. But yeah, an exciting series, exciting season as always. I'd say one of the biggest highlights is that we celebrated 30 years for the second leg, the Pompano Beach Saltwater Slam.
Congrats.
So that was quite a monumental occasion, and we had a lot of throwback memories, old T-shirts, the old photos, and just a lot of reminiscing on kind of the progression of that tournament. Other than that, I think it's been a mix of some great solid fishing, some really good bags that were put up, as well as some quality fish. Obviously, we had the I think it was the Not for Nothing team who got off to a really solid start in the first leg and won that. And we had Captain Blake from the Maxed Out team, who was here with us on the previous podcast.
Yep.
They put up almost a 50-pound king. I believe that was the first tournament. I can't recall, but they won close to 18,000 with that. Our old warriors, the Hank the Buffalo team, Pat Abbey and Frank Langdon, they had a great season, and they won some big fish money as well. And then of course we got Mr. Nick McCabe here, who's representing for the Wait and See team, and we're going to talk about their big finish towards the end of the season with some of these bonus jackpots that we've got. And I think that's kind of that's the cool story about the PBSC. If you really dive deep and you get beyond the surface, there's really a lot of ways that you can approach the events and figure out what might be the best fit for you as far as what you might want to go after competition-wise. And I think that's something that a lot of the teams enjoy doing.
So speaking about those jackpots and what happened, let's talk about what happened during the showdown. Nick, you are part of Wait and See, right? You guys won, I think, $36,000, right, Jamie? Mm-hmm. In that, you guys entered into the Pick 3 and the KDW, and it so happened that this rare occurrence where, you pick 3 different species out of a hat, essentially, and it matched up with the KDW, and you guys went into that, and you guys won it. So it was a double jackpot, which doesn't really happen, right, Jamie?
It's pretty rare. I think in all the years since we've had the Pick 3, only one other time has there been a double KDW.
Right. So there you go. So you guys got the double dip there, and your team is led by Captain Dave Waite, right? And then Tom Barba, yeah. He got what? Was it a 17.1 pound king, 24.5 pound wahoo, and what was the last
10.9 pound dolphin.
Right.
Yeah,
so that just made the cut, right?
Yeah, he caught all the KDW in the Pick 3, so it was nice.
That was also the only ware dolphin of the whole tournament.
Really?
Ready to see the water like never before? Shady Rays is giving out an amazing deal for the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code SCIENCE for 35% off. Hit the water with confidence in Shady Rays sunglasses built to cut glare and deliver pro-level clarity. Their polarized lenses sharpen your vision so you can spot every ripple and movement, even in harsh light. Lightweight and ultra comfortable, they stay put no matter how rough the conditions. And with lost and broken protection, you're covered from day one. Not satisfied? Return or exchange for free within 30 days, no risk. Go to shadyrays.com and use code SCIENCE for 35% off.
Tell me a little bit about what went down that day. You know, let's recap, you know, how you guys went out, how you approached this, and, you know, what went down.
Yeah, of course. So it was more relaxed tournament morning for us. We typically catch all our baits the week before, but it was more of on Thursday. Dave was like, hey, I think we're just going to get all of our baits up in Palm Beach the morning of, keep everything calm, cool, and collective. So we got up there, we got all of our baits, you know, everything from gogs to speedos, and worked away a little north. And it's kind of just one of those things where like everything just happened right at the right time. So yeah, we got on the ledge, we were bump trolling, and out of nowhere I see a sardine slide out the middle of the boat, and 10 minutes later we had what we thought was dead weight or seaweed was a wahoo boat side, so it was cool to see, you know, the stripes light up. Then we picked up, we instantly reset, we got Tom's first king, well we got 2 kings on that one, then we reset again, went through a pack of dolphin, so we had everything by 9 a.m. pretty much. In regards to the KDW and pick 3, and then Roy was on the boat and he's like, what's the pick 3? And he went to Instagram and saw that the KDW was the pick 3. So we just tried to pick away the rest of the day at Kings, but we kind of had everything pretty early, and it was kind of nice to have that, like, you know, pressure off, because catching I feel like a 10-pound dolphin is pretty difficult with a wahoo and a king. So I felt pretty good about it, and it's just kind of one of those things where just everything added up perfectly, you know. So
you didn't even have to go offshore for the dolphin?
No, it was literally like it was like 120 feet of water, and they were just I mean, all the boats are around us. You can see everyone just happened to eat our lines out of all the rest of the boats. Like I saw the team maxed out; they were like 50 yards from us, so it could have been, you know, anyone's fish at that point, but
it wasn't.
Yeah, no, so it was funny too, because we were talking about like, what about if we get the KDW today, and it just happened. So. Yeah, it was an awesome day for sure, and it was kind of just everything aligned perfectly. So
Right. Jamie, so they're semi-pro division.
They are.
Bump them up now.
Yeah, I would suspect that some of that extra 3,000 probably came from a little bit of semi-pro money. Also, that dolphin would have been the heaviest. There's the only dolphin weight, so that was worth extra $1,000 to them. And then I would imagine, I don't know if did that wahoo finish as one of the top 3 wahoos? Do you recall?
I think 3rd.
Okay.
I don't quote
So
me.
yeah, probably, you know, they probably got a little extra there from the species money, and may have grabbed some semi-pro money as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So when you guys were preparing for this tournament, obviously you couldn't have the dolphin in the cards when you guys are pre-fishing, but what were you guys primarily going out to do? Were you guys going to get the hag? What was
So we what was nice is last year you guys introduced the big fish division, so typically we're just going for kings.
Okay.
You know, we know what we're good at, and you know, putting the whole bag together with kings and tunas is sometimes difficult for us, so we focus on getting kings. And this type of year we knew that it was more of a king fish, you know, there's more of a king bite, so just focusing on getting big kings, but we actually didn't get any, but we managed to get wire kings, which was nice. So yeah, we're just focusing on bump trolling the entire day, and then it's kind of, you know, just play the right cards, as you guys said.
Tom Barba was also the top male angler of the tournament.
Yeah, it's it was cool to see it work, because he did something I've never seen before, and it just worked out every single time he did it. So it's kind of one of those things where I thought it was going to get tangled, but it just never got tangled, and it caught all 3 of our fish, which for the KDW and the pick 3, so it's perfect.
Can you give out that secret to those watching at home?
Yeah, honestly, you're bump trolling, you have the 2 downriggers, you have your flat lines, and sometimes people shotgun one down the middle really deep, but I just see a 6-ounce weight or an 8-ounce weight slide out the left side with Tom in his hand, and with a clip, you could use a rubber band clip, puts out the middle of the boat, and you think it's going to get tangled in the downrigger, and he just held it the whole time. Every time he turned, he'd crank up on it, keep it a little tight, and I've never seen it with a sardine on it, so it's just weird how it, I don't know, maybe people do that, but I've never done that before, and it worked out the entire day. So
I've actually seen that clip. He introduced it to me through the guy that sells them, and that clip
it's pretty cool.
It's exceptionally cool.
It is
like
cool.
It works really well over a rubber band. I was even actually at one point in time when I was playing around with it, clipping off like a 5-6 ounce lead, you know, for like a deeper short deep, and then I would actually, they also have a version of that where you can attach a balloon to it, and then I would attach a balloon to it, and I would fish the balloon away from the boat. So you almost had a deep that was fishing like 30, 40, 50, 60 feet away from the boat as far as keeping your spread nice and clean. And yeah, it's a pretty cool little gadget that he's got.
big. He's been pushing it for years, so it's on like everyone we know's boat. So it's funny.
Yeah.
It works.
You guys gonna run that from now on, probably?
I'll let him do that. I focus on the down.
He caught the King-Dolphin and the Wahoo.
He honestly caught almost all the fish on the boat. He caught almost all the fish on the boat. So,
That's classic.
Yeah, it was perfect.
I love
We'll
it.
be selling a lot of those clips in the next couple of weeks.
I'm surprised they're not in most bait stores right now.
That's great for you guys, man. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
You guys put in some serious work and won some serious money, so that's awesome.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So guys, right now we're gonna go to our segment from Mercury.
Your boat, your outboard, your passion. Make your Mercury V8 or V6 outboard a little more you with an easy-to-install color accent panel kit. Panels come factory painted in one of 5 sharp colors: Redline Red, Pacific Blue, Mercury Silver, Graphite Gray, or Pro Black. There's even a primed for paint version that you can personalize to be as bold or as subtle as you'd like it. Mercury Color Accent Panels, the perfect complement to total performance.
Well, guys, we're back. Shout out to Mercury. We're sitting down with the champs, living water, making time. We got Coach right here and Mark Miller. How are you guys doing? How does it feel to be champions right now?
Feels really good.
Yeah.
I'd say relief is
Yeah.
probably the
Right.
most accurate word for me.
Okay.
Those 2 months felt like 5 years
Real.
after we had that lead, because August is tough.
Yeah.
So we obviously had the second place in the first one, and then we won the slam. So we had what did we have, Jamie? 11-point lead.
You had 11-point lead.
And as everybody knows, it's like in May, we know we can get our tunas and kings. In August, you're on the ledge. Most teams, that's where you guys were too, where everybody's there. And as Wait and See saw a lot of the fish, you can be in the middle of a pack, they're getting a wahoo, they're getting kings, they're getting bites, and you can be in the pack and watch guys getting decent fish and then listening to crickets.
Right.
So
You get a front seat to the show.
yeah, you're picking at them throughout the day, and that's what we did. We picked at a few. I think we had a 22, an 18, and then we were trying to upgrade some of our smaller fish, and I think we ended up with all our fish north of 20. What was the biggest, Steve? 27?
26, 27.
Yeah,
somewhere in
so, we had our kings, but picking at them throughout the day, just hoping to try to upgrade is what our main objective was on the kings, because we knew we maybe had around 80 pounds in kings. But August is tough. So it was, you really, you have to probably, in most cases, either get some really decent sized kings or get a couple of bonus fish.
Right.
Mac Daddy had a couple of tunas. They had pre-fished a few days, so they kind of had their bearings and where the tunas were. We've always had pretty good luck with the wahoo in August. And then Alex started drifting out to about 150 around 2 o'clock, coming out a little deeper when we were kind of coming in and off the ledge. And then we got that 48-pound wahoo, sealed the deal.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
That's
pretty
freaking sweet.
It's pretty cool.
Long runs beat you up, but EC Rider fixes that. This is the original marine beanbags built in the U.S. with real marine vinyl and bead fill that won't soak up water. Ride softer, fish longer. Visit e-crider.com.
You guys had a second, a first, all massive bags, obviously. But being, going into this, you said it felt like 5 years over 2 months.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time you've been here, though. You've won in 2014, you've won in 2020, and now 2025. This is a three-peat, essentially. I mean, Jamie, is they have the most wins, the most rings?
Yeah, I would.
Right.
No, they don't have the most Well, they don't have the most titles because
Native Son.
Native Son has
Still
won
has
it.
5.
He's won it 5 times, but before the ring existed. So believe it or not, art doesn't even actually have a ring. However,
5 titles is the.
That's the record.
Yeah,
That's the
he's the.
is exceptional about what they've done is the 91 points, which in the scoring format that we have, which there was a time when the series winner was determined by aggregate weight, and then years ago I made the decision to move to a point scoring system, kind of similar to how NASCAR determines their season winner. And the reason we did that is I really wanted to focus the benchmark on competing at a high level, at the highest level, and doing it consistently. And when you have in the aggregate weight, sometimes like in the month of May, you could have somebody that could put up a 300-pound bag and the second place team might be 220. That's a big gap to try to overcome over 3 tournaments, but yet you still finished first and second. And to me, the emphasis is on where you finish, not necessarily how you did it. And so in the era where we are now, no one has ever broken the 90-point threshold. They have that record, and if I would make the argument that I can't see it ever being broken, because the only way their record ever gets broken is somebody sweeps the whole series. They got to win every tournament, because these guys did second, first, and first for 91 points. It's unreal. That's a remarkable achievement.
Yeah, Robbie Claude just reminded me that, hey, you guys are pretty close to sweeping it. He sent me a text and I said, thanks for the reminder that you guys beat us in the first one.
Well, and Robbie, where were you in the last tournament? I want to know why Not For Nothing just bailed out. Did they, listen, winners win, right? Come on, Not For Nothing.
Yeah,
you got to stay in the
shot.
You got to stay in the game and give these guys a run for their money.
Yeah.
One of the things, a hard thing to overcome, when Mark was saying that those few months seemed like a long period of time, was everyone, all of our friends and everything kept saying, oh, you guys got it made. You guys are going to just walk away with it. And it's not like that. And
we didn't want to hear that.
We didn't want to hear that at all. And we knew that we had to give it everything we had. And because the teams that were close to us, you never know what's going to happen out there. And our first set of rings that we won a number of years ago, we caught our fish really in the last hour and a half of the tournament.
Oh, wow.
To do it.
In the showdown.
We were really struggling in the showdown. And so we understood what it was going to take to do it. And then, we did have a little adversity leading into the tournament. So on Thursday, we had split. Normally, we would take 2 boats pre-fishing, but we decided this time we would take 1 boat on Thursday and 1 boat on Friday. And so on Thursday, Mark was fishing with Alex and Ryan and
Mike Benson.
Mike Benson. And on their way out, they had heard that Alex's boat had sunk at the dock.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So they had to go right there to try to help Alex with that.
Yeah, we were probably like off Boynton at the time, and he got a text from Jimmy Oliver with a picture of his boat, basically underwater.
Yeah, I saw that. That was, whew.
Yeah. So on Thursday, leading into the tournament, we had to deal with that. But I think when there's adversity, it brings everyone together even more. And
Alex didn't miss a beat.
No, he didn't flinch. He didn't flinch, not one bit.
Didn't flinch.
And
no cursing, no yelling, no throwing anything. Just like handled it like just business.
Yeah.
Well,
and
then
I admire him and his attitude.
His work ethic is second to none.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an animal. So
that's how you win.
Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously they didn't get a full day in on Thursday, pre-fishing, because they dealt with that. They fished for a few hours.
Yeah, we left Alex there, and then me, Ryan, and Mike went out. By the time we had lines in the water, it was almost like 11 o'clock.
Okay.
So we still caught some kings, some decent ones, teenagers, low 20s, but, we at least located some fish for these guys on Friday when they went out.
Right.
So we were trying to do 2 pre-fishing days. I think Mac Daddy fished like all week. Those guys were like, they were coming.
In a row.
Yeah, they were coming.
For this tournament.
We pre-fished 2 days, and some guys fished Thursday, some guys fished Friday. Ryan and Alex fished both days. Coach wanted to fish both days.
I went on Friday.
I told him, I said, we need you on Saturday, don't do 2 days. we're the elder statesmen on the team.
Okay.
We need to save a little energy.
Coach, what is your role on the team? They call you coach. Where does that come from?
I think from really, the kids started calling me that. When they were playing Little League ball and stuff, I would coach, their teams. And it just kind of stuck with them and their friends. And so it just kind of stuck. And that's where it came from.
It comes to the boat though now too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a sponge. Steve and I'm that way too. We've been fishing a long time.
Yeah.
In these tournaments and us together for a long time, and we've always had like really good chemistry working together. and he's always learning. You know, it's like every year we learn something new. You fish with Alex. Alex does a couple things differently, and we try to apply all the stuff that we learn. And then he's super patient at like showing you and like, hey man, here's what I picked up. And so
This episode of The Science of Fishing is brought to you by Turtlebox, the ultimate outdoor speaker for anglers who don't mess around. Whether you're 150 miles from shore fishing for blue marlin, or you're at home cleaning up your catch, Turtlebox brings you loud, crystal clear audio that's built for the elements. Saltwater, rain, beer, it doesn't matter. Turtlebox is built to be waterproof, drop-proof, and plain badass. I take mine on every trip I go, and when you bring one on the boat, you won't leave home without it either. Turtlebox, built for adventure, designed for sound. The official speaker of the science of fishing.
I got a question. So we've already discussed this somewhat, amongst ourselves over the course of the season in sidebar conversations, but like, I'm sure there's a lot of people, and maybe there's no like, earth-shattering, piece of advice or information you're going to share here, but like, what is it about you guys that you have this connection with wahoo and being able to catch a wahoo when it really matters the most? Because obviously, in the showdown this year, you caught the wahoo, which essentially won you the tournament and won you the rings. Without the wahoo, they don't win the rings, they don't win the tournament. Ladies fish off this year, Mr. Fishman. You add a wahoo to the mix on the boat you're fishing on and win the tournament. 2 years ago in the showdown, they're on the cover of the magazine from 2 years ago from weighing an 80-some pound wahoo in the showdown.
I remember.
Like, what's the magic potion, man?
in 2020 to win the crown, we also put a wahoo in the boat in the afternoon
Yeah.
to seal the deal.
When we first met back in 2007, so we met at a weigh-in, Mark and I was fishing on the Makin time and he was on the living water boat. And they actually
in the
caught a wahoo
slam.
in that tournament, and we had a tuna, to just barely beat them in that tournament. And we met.
By 0.4 of a pound, I'll tell you exactly.
I still remember.
Yeah, we have I had 2 second places in the slam, like in 06 and 07, I think, back to back. One of them to him, and then collectively we've had a couple of second places in the slam as well. So it was good to get that. He won it once before we partnered up. And so that was one of my goals this year too, was try to pull off that slam. So that was great that we did that.
I don't know what it is. We have a little bit of luck, I think, fishing a lot. We've caught them pre-fishing. One couple years ago, we were on separate boats pre-fishing, Mark and I. They had a wahoo, we had a wahoo, just pre-fishing.
Yeah.
I think it's better not to catch them on the pre-fish day, and I was happy we didn't catch one on the pre-fish day.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is. Just
Is there like do you find like any one bait in particular or any one style, like one rod, like a flat line versus a deep or a kite? Like, is there anything that you've seen, any pattern that's more common when you get those bites?
Late in the afternoon, just get something in Ryan Goldman's hands. Because he caught the one in 2020 to win it. It was like first bait out. We actually had caught some kings. It was real close between us and Native Son for that title. I mean, Gator 1 had a clear lead, but they went to Fort Pierce and had a really rough showdown. So, and us and Native Son were kind of like right behind them. And we had kings, Art had bigger kings. But then we had a report from a buddy I knew south, like off the breakers the day before. He had a couple wahoo, and we felt like we weren't upgrading our kings. So we decided to run south. Got to that same area, the water was a little green, so we kept going. I think Ryan was in the tower, Steve and I were downstairs, and then water like cleaned up, real clean, like off of the Ritz off Boynton. Steve noticed at first, he was like, I think we ought to shut down right here. And it was like, all right, let's do it. So we hollered up at Ryan. He came down. He put out a bait in 5 minutes and was hooked up on a big wahoo for that one. And then he had the 48-pounder, Ryan did, and this one too. So yeah, it worked out pretty well.
in the ladies tournament, so we were fishing. I know Jamie was fishing in the ladies as well. Mm-hmm. And, I'd fish with Skip Dana a lot. And one thing that Skip always preaches, great fisherman,
Great guy.
and he would always say, fish the baits in, fish the baits in. And so in the ladies, one of the baits was, the long bait was dead. So I brought the kite in, but I fished the baits in, and I left the short bait in the water while I'm putting another bait in the clip. And I turn my head and I see the rod start to bend over. And I just told Nicole, she was standing right there, I said, this one's getting eaten right now. She grabbed it and caught the wahoo right at the boat.
Wow.
I mean, the fish was like, the bait was like maybe 20 feet from the boat, 15 feet, just kind of wandered away.
That's crazy.
And so that was pretty interesting because she just had a baby like 6 weeks ago and she had a C-section. Okay. And we were talking about your wife's pregnant
Yeah.
right now, getting ready to have a baby.
Yep.
And she did a great job on it. So I don't know, but I think, we just have a good karma working together. All the guys on the boat work really hard. They're all in. Anything I ask them to do or Mark, there's no hesitation,
Do you guys slow troll or drift more?
Well, I saw Alex on the last podcast say that guys south of Palm Beach Inlet don't use downriggers. We always did, and he's a master at it. He's at another level. He's phenomenal on the downriggers. But in August, normally we'd rather have kites out, kite fish. But in August, I agree. We agree with Alex. You got to. I mean, when it's flat calm and there's no wind, we'd prefer to be on the slow troll with downriggers.
It's better presentation.
Yeah, it is. You can cover more ground. So we'll normally do that. Then at the end of the day, we put the kites up, went out a little deeper, hoping to get a tuna or a dolphin because a dolphin would have been nice. These guys already had it. We needed one. And we caught a bunch of dolphin, but they were all like 7-8 pounds.
Does anybody ever anchor up anymore in tournaments?
Not in a long time. We used to. We used to in the rodeo.
Yeah.
Way back.
That's old school.
Like in the early 2000s, we'd always anchor up.
Yeah, more when live chumming was a part of the deal.
You bringing that back, Jamie? At any point?
They're welcome to anchor, but I can say with a high level of confidence, nobody should expect live chumming to come back anytime soon.
Oh, all right. That's okay.
It's hard enough to gather up bait as it is now, much less live chum.
Yeah.
So
I get that. Congratulations to you guys. That's awesome. And Mark, thank you for having us here in Summit Studios, right? This is your place over here. It's been an awesome time throughout the series to be here and, tell us a little bit about what you have coming up. You building a new facility, right?
Yeah, we're doing a build out next door that Valerie and Bill behind the scenes over here are running for us. And it's going to be a 30 by 10. I'm pretty sure I got that right. Valerie would check me if I didn't. But a new 30 by 10 video wall and a little wider studio. And it's going to have, it's going to wrap around the sides too. So it'll give us a little bit better angle, I think, in some of the shots for next year. And hopefully a bunch of other clients as well.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we're stoked about that.
That's sweet. I'm looking forward to checking it out.
And you guys, outside of just the studio offering, you guys provide top to bottom service, right, for full editing, video production.
Yeah, we're a full service production house. So corporate videos, commercials, anything that anybody needs. It's video related commercials. We're here to. We have several editors on staff.
Haven't you done some work for CV?
Yeah, we did CVs. I appreciate Jamie giving me all these cues. Yeah. He's better at marketing than I am. So I need to get Valerie in here. She is too. Yeah, we did CV's grand opening video, and we also did the corporate video for Freeman that they run a lot too.
Very nice.
So yeah, a couple of boat manufacturers. But yeah, we've done stuff for Ariel and CV over the years.
Very cool.
As well, yeah.
Summit Studios is a state-of-the-art production facility equipped with a breathtaking 13 by 10 foot 8K LED video wall, offering vibrant, ultra-high-definition imagery designed to create customizable virtual environments, 6K camera recording, and everything you need to bring your creative vision to life. Ideal for podcasts, talk shows, commercials, and corporate videos. Visit summitstudiosgroup.com to learn more or book now.
Welcome back, guys. So we're wrapping up. It's been an incredible series that we've been able to be a part of here at the Science of Fishing. Jamie, thank you for having us. We're gearing up now to go into the next season, the next series. And let's talk about next year, Jamie. What's in store for you guys? I hear, you're going to start, building another division into this that's going to be pretty cool. If I was a little younger, I would be begging my dad to be part of it. So tell me what's up, Jamie.
Yeah, we've got a lot going on in general. Obviously, Showdown wraps the season and 2026 planning. We've got our Quest for the Crest, which will kick off in January. Working on a new Marlin Major series that we'll have more information to come on that in the near future. But yeah, as far as the summer series is concerned, there's a lot that we have to offer, but I feel like you constantly have to reevaluate year after year and say, okay, like, because the industry is constantly changing, boats change, the profile of teams change, and we have such a diversity of teams fishing the events from teams like, Mark and Steve's team that are the most talented teams, fishing in they were in a 39 CV this year, and we're rolling out a new boat next year, correct, Mark?
Yes, sir. 44 contender.
44 contender. Yeah. So, there's an example of that side of it. And then you have, as Nick described, their team, they qualify for the semi-pro, they go after the big fish and that kind of stuff. And, so there's quite a diversity, but we also have we have a lot of kids, and that's an area that we want to focus on going forward. Is I feel like the youth, the younger generation of anglers, they're the future of this industry. And so we've been kicking around some ideas about maybe some categories or divisions that we can focus on that are really youth-oriented, that age demo 20 and under, And I think that'll be something that we're taking a hard look at going forward. Actually, I have a phone call with Bass Pro this afternoon. They're a great partner, big into family, big into kids, so that'll be part of the discussion. Just looking for ways that we can continue to try and make the events as exciting as possible from, a social standpoint. We want to continue and always will focus on the prestigious side of what it takes to win a series and do what guys like, Mark and his team have been doing. But also focusing at the same time in the entire community of fishing, because not everybody's going to be on their skill level. Right. But we want to make sure that if they want to participate in fishing tournaments, that they feel like there's a place for them in our events.
Right. So there would essentially be, not going to quote you on this, but there could be like a division for, the 20 and under, and they compete amongst themselves. Like those kids will get their buddies together and then...
I think, looking at focusing on something that would be all like adolescent based, kids that are all doing it together, like memories like I had, coming up on my 19 Mako when I was a kid. It was me and all my buddies in high school, and that was it, And those are some of the best memories I have. And again, things change, times change, I'd probably get laughed out of the tournament with a 1972 19-foot Mako anymore because, the average boat is not that, right? But it's, I think for kids, just being able to get them out on the water, experience what that's all about. There's just so much good that comes from that. And if we get them excited about the tournament experience and doing that, that's an added bonus.
Closing out this episode, we've had a great time here at Summit Studios. Great time with these guys. A great series. We'll see you guys next time. Quest with the Crest. See you later, y'all.